Guys, Deluded, YouTube's N'Golo Kante, YouTube's Lucas Torreira. Yeah, you're back rocking with the best. So let's crack on. Now, I think you'd all agree that I'm a pretty outspoken person, not in the sense of talking nonsense. I'll say what's right. I'm able to put my own opinions to the side and look outside the box. I admit when I'm right or wrong. I like to think you guys think I'm a down-to-earth, transparent person. I don't say anything I'm not on. I don't do mad stuff. I just talk football and that. So yeah. So obviously, because I believe I owe a lot to you lot, man. I mean, you lot give me high praise and say I could do many different vocations. Obviously, you lot subscribe to the thing, you lot support, you lot always doing mad stuff for me. So I have to try and expand and stuff. And I thought, alright, cool. You get the analysis, you get the youngsters that I speak about here and there on all the other conventional things I do. But because I love you guys, I've got to start doing different stuff. So I thought to myself, why not? I don't know the name of this, what I'm going to call this. I don't know when it's going to happen. Obviously, I do Q&As on Fridays. Maybe drop this on Fridays as well. Possibly Thursdays. But with Europa League, it could get complicated. So probably Friday, maybe Saturday, we'll do this, innit? So yeah, obviously, long story short, if you've been paying attention to my tweets and stuff like that, I said I had two options that I would like to bring to you guys. One would be the Deluded show. I mean, yeah, man, my name's Deluded. I got it from someone calling me that when I used to play Xbox. There weren't nothing mad. Now I've just ran with it. And like I said, I'm pretty outspoken and stuff, but I need to actually start showing you, like, I can be deluded about certain things. So that show will more or less just be a bit of fun joke, not to be taken seriously sort of thing, because we need to have a bit more fun. But this, now we've got the Deluded Cup. I don't know the name of this, but obviously there's all of you eagle-eyed people on YouTube that saw my Twitter that saw my tweets. I was asking for topics in relation to this. There's random topics. There's only around 4 or 5 at the moment, but we're trying to speed this up. So get in there with random topics. I'm not looking, so you know it's not real. Obviously, I know some of the topics because I had to write it up and cut it into pieces of paper, but I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Whichever one comes out of this, hopefully it's nothing mad. Whichever one comes out is what this video will be about. So let's go. Just so you lot know, I'm not trying to jinnles. Look, shaking up the thing. And now I'm putting my hat. Oh, I'm shook, man. I'm shook. This must be out of them FA Cup and Europa League Donnies feel when they're doing the league draw. But let's go with this one. This one's feeling righteous. Deep breath. Hopefully it's not a mad thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's decent. Will the FA enforce their own rules and deduct points from that lot down the wrong end of Seven Sisters Seven Sisters Road? Now, for those who don't know what he's referring to, he's obviously referring to Spurs, wrong end of Seven Sisters Road. Ironically, I'm nearer to Spurs than I am Arsenal. But in regards to the points deduction, I'm not too sure how it quantifies. I'm assuming that there's a rule in regards to you can't play at 2 stadiums in a season. Allegedly, Spurs fans know their thing more, but there's problems and complications in regards to their budgeting and the delay of their stadium. And I think they've actually asked to have a couple games extended there. So maybe they stay another season at Wembley or not. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible that they can go back to the Spurs ground. I don't know any of this sort of stuff. I just know football. But on that basis of that you're not allowed it, obviously I'm going to sound a bit biased, and obviously I am a bit biased to a degree because it's Spurs, and Spurs have been better than us for 2 years, so we need to close that gap any way we can. I mean, I sound like a Spurs fan saying close the gap now, innit? Yeah, Spurs fans allow me, but of course I would like to see that implemented. If it is a points deduction thing, the points deduction thing should be implemented. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. And I don't really have an opinion past that, you know. Like, obviously, because it's Spurs and things like that, I would like it to happen. But I only want it to happen if they've legitimately did something wrong. Like I said, I'm not clued up on stuff like that. I don't know if it's a legit rule. I believe it is. And if it's not, then Spurs or not, or whoever it is, then I think you need to get fined or deduct points. So, yeah, man. I think the FA will bottle it. But, yeah. Do you know what? We got enough time, man. Let's rock another one. Another one. Oh, dropped it. Who would you attempt to get in on loan before the loan window closes? I believe the loan window is actually closed already in regards to Premier League clubs. Players can still leave on loan, but I don't think people can come in on loan. There might be, I know there's an emergency loan window. I don't know if that works for Premier League. So I think whether you wanted to get players in on loan or permanently, my guy, I think it's done. Like, I actually think it's done for them. So yeah, there's no one we could really get in. In regards to loaning people out, I'd probably say, if it's loaning out, it's only going to be the youngsters, really. Bielik, he had a good game against Manchester City for those who watched it. I didn't see it. I would want the highlights to go on Arsenal.com because quite a few goals happened. But yeah, man, allegedly, Bielik's being watched by Middlesbrough and a couple teams like that. You'd think a couple of the young players, Ben Chief needs to go on loan. I don't think Willock. I think we need to keep Willock for the under-23s and a couple cup games. But he's one to go out on loan. You'd like to think one of the keepers go out on loan. So there's a couple bits of movement that could happen. I mean, Ilev is 23, signed a new deal. Don't know how much he's gonna play in the under-23s and stuff like that. But you'd like to give chances to our younger goalkeepers. So sorry, people. I'd like to see him go on loan. So, yeah, man. Do you know what? Let's see if there's enough time for one more. Tell us about your alter ego, YC. There's nothing to say, really. I mean, it's a name that I was given in school. It stands for Young Courts. I mean, teacher actually called me, and people just ran with it at a time when people were getting nicknames. And, yeah, like, that was just what people used to call me. They used to call me Courts or YC, really. Like, that's literally it. And at a time, that was in a period of my life when obviously you're going through a lot of things. Making YouTube videos and these things was the last thing I was worried about. My mindset was completely different then, and to a degree, I wish you all knew who YC was, because some of these people in the comments, they tried me like I'm not a bad boy, I'm none of these things. But a couple of the comments, I can tell some people have never held a thump in their mouth, because some people talk reckless online. But yeah, that's all it was. It was a nickname. I wouldn't call it an alter ego like he said. I'm the same person. But yeah, man, that was my nickname. I was shorter than I was now. I looked a bit younger than I looked now, if you can imagine that. I had the cane rolls. Like, my mindset was completely different. And that was just a name, man. People, you know how everyone gets them. You know, if you got a friend called Emmanuel, you just, every one of them is called E-Man at some point or something like that. Or if your name begins with a J, whether it's Jacob, Jason, whatever in it, at some moment in time, the thingy, it just becomes J or something. So that's all it was, really. So yeah, man, this is what I'm trying to do with this show. I know it's a bit similar to Q&A, but it's a bit different at the same time. It's literally random topics. And all I can say is thank you, guys. And if you want me to keep running with this, I will. But I'm obviously going to need some random stuff. It doesn't have to actually be about football. Q&A, I kind of like it, certainly football. But it doesn't have to necessarily be about football. It could be about anything. It's just going to go into this cup and get picked out. So yeah, love for the people who asked the questions already. And on that note, guys, DG, I'm out.